A Two on Your Side story earlier this week got many of you talking.
We highlighted an issue about people's seemingly high utility bills. We found one person who was overcharged. And tonight, some of you tell us, so were you. So Brittany Weiss is here now, and you found out this is a big problem.
Yeah, it goes back to utility companies estimating usage when meter readers couldn't get to homes during the flood. And tonight, another example of the problem, and I went straight to the top to get you some answers. No windows and no doors. It's stripped down to the studs.
If you saw my house, you'd know that I wasn't living in it.
Doug Pruitt got 7 feet of water in his house and hasn't quite started rebuilding. But when he got his Entergy electric bill, he knew something wasn't right.
I don't feel like I need to pay for something I didn't use.
His bill, $296.55.
My house is gutted. I have no air conditioning.
Entergy told him they estimated his bill, but that didn't sit right with Pruitt. That's when he contacted WBRZ.
We had overestimated that bill. The amount is going to be $32.21.
Entergy corrected his bill.
Said it was just an error.
A difference of more than $260. Entergy says it had to replace meters like this one that went underwater, but first had to take a reading on the old one. This homeowner's bill was estimated based on what he paid last year during the same month. Entergy says there may have been some level of human error in this case.
If a meter is damaged, we have no other way to bill a customer other than using prior years.
Entergy couldn't say how many meters were replaced after the flood, but did reference the some 100,000 homes affected by flood damage and says there could be others with overestimated bills.
We ask that they call in, and we will do our best to make sure we make it right.
Stud walls, nothing on them.
As Pruitt starts to put his home back together, he worries.
If they did it to me, I'm sure they did it to others.
And hopes if there are others, their bill is corrected too. If you suspect there's something wrong with your bill, call your provider. A reminder, Demco and Entergy says if you're running multiple motors, it can significantly bump up your bill, which a lot of people are doing right now.
Sure. Brittany, thank you.
We called the state to ask about the Shelter at Home program. They joined us in Sanoma this evening and agreed what they saw was concerning. The owners of this home tucked away in Sanoma are rebuilding.
Because we had to tear every floor out of here.
Flooding a home that's already 18 inches off the ground. Connie and Paul Bro opted to stay here while they rebuild and applied for the Shelter at Home program.
They installed the sink here in the kitchen.
Contractors came to the home Sunday. They also installed a toilet, a bathroom sink, hooked up a water heater, then left.
I didn't know what to think until I came in here.
Two on Your Side called the state to find out more. A group of about 20 people from the governor's office, the Shelter at Home program, and the contractor showed up to the Bros' home today to fix some problems left behind. Core Construction, the company that did this job, says it put about $7,000 into this house. But when they left, they had a leaking sink and a leaking toilet. The Shelter at Home program says that's unacceptable.
Our inspectors had come through and they had let us know, that there were some concerns.
This is how Core Construction left the Bros' toilet.
Most likely would not have passed our final site inspection.
Leaking water all over a floor Paul Bro installed himself.
The later in the day it got, the more upset I got, and that's when I contacted you guys on Two on Your Side.
This wall before today didn't exist.
There was no privacy to use the bathroom.
The contractor also installed the Bros' shower. The Shelter at Home program says it's making some changes, fixing a few communication issues between contractor and homeowner, what people should expect and what they shouldn't.
So that they know when one crew leaves, there's still another one that's coming in.
Bro hoping others applying for the Shelter at Home program won't have to go through the same thing.
It's not fair. It's false sense of security.
The Bros' home will have its final inspection in the next couple of days. Call this number if you have questions or concerns about contractor work performed by the Shelter at Home program.
One flood victim was awarded insurance money to rebuild his home. He even received the first installment of $20,000 immediately after an adjuster determined the damages. But the rest of what he is entitled to receive is being held up. His mortgage company asking for proof of expenditures before it forks any over. So the homeowner called Two on Your Side's Brittany Weiss.
Yeah, he's having to send every receipt to Wells Fargo. Meanwhile, he's borrowing money and dipping into his savings to pay for things. It's about 50% back to normal after it flooded. Sheetrock is done and the windows are going in today, but it could be moving a lot faster.
It's unbelievable what they're making us do. just to get our houses fixed.
Alan Landry is unwillingly playing a waiting game.
Never ends.
He's been awarded about 90 grand by his insurance company to rebuild.
Flood insurance was real good about coming through with a with money, but it was also made out to Wells Fargo.
Landry thought this would be quick. He would send his insurance check to Wells Fargo, it would be signed, and he'd be able to do work. But it's been the opposite.
Saying that we had to show paid receipts.
Landry says he needs to provide paperwork to his mortgage company to prove this work has been done.
To buy all this material, pay for the labor, and then hopefully they'll send me my money.
Landry's home has come a long way, but he's still waiting for the rest of his insurance money. And after borrowing and taking money out of savings, he's about 20 grand in the hole, waiting to be reimbursed.
Of the 90 grand he was awarded, he's seen less than half.
It's just been real frustrating. Them people have a place to lay their head every night. We don't. We're homeless.
This bill from today, 11 grand for new AC units. Landry says he'll pay some out of his pocket, and with this receipt, he's hoping to be reimbursed by his insurance money. He keeps track of everything.
$2,000 worth of sheetrock and odds and ends that add up.
While these men help Landry rebuild, they expect to be paid.
You just have to pick people that'll work with you, you know, and wait for their money.
For now, cabinets, toilets, sinks are on the back burner. He's got to wait.
We reached out to Wells Fargo. It says this is standard industry practice, but less than an hour ago, Alan Landry called me with great news. Wells Fargo told him the rest of the money, 45 grand, is coming his way, and he wanted to thank Two on Your Side.